Good day from Ed. I'd like to give you an overview of Tom Sehloff's first and second produced toys. Tom was a gentleman that in the 1980s and 90s produced beautiful custom cast iron toys, but he did enough of them so that they could be considered production. So you have Kenton, Hubley, Pratt & Letchworth, Wilkins, Sato in England, North and Judd. You have all these different companies. So I would argue Tom Sehloff's toys are the evolution and a continuation of the American art form of cast iron toys. So stay tuned, more to come. Today we have a Tom Sehloff treat. We got these from a deep collection as a lender. And this is Tom's first and second produced toy. It's a Chrysler, an 8-cylinder Chrysler. And this represents the first one he ever made. He actually took this toy to Chicago, as I understand it, right around 1983 winter. And he showed this to collectors and he said, "What do you think if the Great Depression didn't hit and they decided to supersize toys and continue on with what happened in 1929 and 1930, but then adding nickel grill, which the 30s produced, and if there was streamlining, which the 30s produced." And so Tom introduced this, and it was just a little too heavy, so he refined that. He also said, what would happen if there's black versus natural tire? On this prototype, he split the tire and said, do you prefer black? Do you prefer white? And got feedback there. So this is actually the first one he produced with a clip-on trailer hitch, which is a uniqueness. Later on, it turned out to be cast. Okay, so you have this is the first one. And then this one was the second one. I'm going to call it Grimace. Grimace because it just has that purple and black feel to it. And you grimace a little, you're like, that's not the style that I identify with on Tom. It's gold. So it's gold, it's black, the tires are black, the dark mauve purple is just not a color he did. But it represents I guess I would call it a evolutionary dead end. He figured out what he didn't want to do. But he hand painted in sets. He tried black tires, and he didn't even work this prototype far enough to loosen it up. It's actually painted in place. Whereas the first one, he liked it enough, he flipped it up, and then he painted the detail of the brown. So another uniqueness on this number 2, which is like a test mule, is his stickering. He checked out stickering, and later I believe he put more stickers actually in the deck lid. So let's do some close-ups, okay? Okay, here we have the first Sehloff toy. Nickel front bumper, hand-painted details, hand-painted top. It has a Chrysler marking and a rumble seat. This has the optional rear spare on it. Once in a while he'd do a side mount on each side, and he was testing ideas of doing trailers. So that's a prototype hitch. On the toy, it's upside down, but it's prototype. He's got the two-tone here and drilled out for a person. He uses welding rods. Just a great item. Here's Tom's second. He decides to try insets of hand painting. He tries gold, but I think we both agree gold's a little over the top. The top is black though, so it actually appears lower than the tan top. He tried nickel wheel and then attempted to used black tires, but chose it to be a second choice. And on the back, he signed it, second test car. So there you have it. Tom Sehloff's toys, number 1, number 2. And it was wonderful that we got to borrow these from a deep collector. And it was wonderful that Tom Sehloff worked things out so that these could be shown and we could share the history. So cheers from Ed. Please keep us in mind if you have more cast iron or tin toys or Star Wars or any wonderful toys out there, any variation. Just shoot us an email. toys@AntiqueToys.com. Take care.